Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Today, as always, I have a general reading for you. And as always with a general reading, not everything is going to resonate for everybody, and that is okay. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. It is a timeless message and could be past, present or future, depending on where you're at on your healing journey. Spirit will always guide you to a message that you need to hear, okay? Exactly when you need to hear it. And for the easy channeling, I am going to use the pronouns he, she, but by all means swap them out for the ones that fit for you if those don't, okay? So I'm hearing Sam Smith la la la, and I'm hearing I'm covering my ears like a kid. Your words mean when your words mean nothing, I go la la la. Okay. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. So either someone is acting childish and doesn't want to listen to what you've got to say, or somebody is acting childish and doesn't want to listen to what somebody's got to say about you. Maybe somebody doesn't want to hear that they were in the wrong when it comes to you, and that they don't want to take accountability. But we're going to get some clarification on that. So let's see what else we're picking up with this energy, please, Spirit. What else do we need to know about this energy? Maybe you don't want to hear somebody else out. Maybe somebody wants to give their side of the story, and by me saying that, what I mean is they want to twist the truth, but they know that you don't want to hear them out, and they're saying that you're acting like a child because you won't even give them the time of day. Let's get some clarification, please, Spirit. What do we need to know about this energy? A burst of magic. Okay. Divine matrix. Yeah. And we have into me, I see here. Yeah, you don't want to hear this person out because you know they're full of bullshit. You know that someone's trying to twist the truth, twist the narrative to manipulate you. You see through the bullshit. I do feel like somebody is going around telling someone that you won't hear them out, you won't listen to what they've got to say, you're acting childish, you're not doing the grown-up thing and sitting down and sorting this out like grown-ups. Okay, but this fits their narrative because quite honestly they're scared to come and talk to you. On the bottom of the deck we have beautiful uncaging. Okay, they're scared to come and talk to you because they know you're going to see straight through them, that you see through them, and they know that you've reached new heights. Okay, you've reached a new level of you've ascended, you've had this glow up, your abilities to see through things and see through people. They know that your intuition is on point, okay, and that they can't gaslight you anymore, even though if they get an opportunity to have a conversation with you, that's exactly what they're going to try to do. They're still going to try, okay, because in some form of their own delusion, they are hoping that that they'll catch you on an off day, and you know it'll be okay. But in the meantime, they're going around telling people that basically you're not, that basically you're throwing your toys out of the pram. You're throwing your toys out your pram. You won't sit down like a grown-up and sort this out. But actually what it is they're not the ones who were willing to sit down and sort this out like grown-ups. Because I do feel like you tried to sort things out with this person, but they didn't. I feel like you had a brutally honest conversation with this person about things needing to change, and that things between the two of you, and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, but basically that the situation that was playing out, the situationship that you were in, couldn't carry on the way it was going. That this person didn't want to hear what you were saying. They didn't want to hear that because they didn't want to have to look at themselves and admit and realize that actually they might be the problem, that you were willing to do the work and put the work into this relationship, but they weren't. They don't want to hear, and I feel it got to a point where you've kind of just gone, oh, I'm just wasting my breath here, and you've just walked away from it. You saw the bigger picture. You saw that just keep fighting this one-sided relationship, and again, doesn't have to be romantic. We have relationships with friends, with family, with money, with ourselves, okay? That it just wasn't working anymore. The same things just kept going over and over and over, and somebody had to break the cycle. You broke it from your end. They chose not to do it, but now what they're doing is they're avoiding you, okay? The woman on this card, right, okay, she's looking away, okay? This person cannot look you in the eyes. They cannot face you. But in order to make themselves look like the hero slash victim, or and make you look like the villain, they're telling people that you can't face them, that you're the one who can't face them, and you're the one who's acting childish. And quite honestly, I don't think you're the only one who's not buying into their bullshit anymore. It really just feels like people around them are just like, you know what, how long are you going to keep telling yourself that? How long? Because I feel like there's people around them that have also tried to, like, get them to change their ways, tried to make them see things from another person's perspective, but they're not willing to see anything from anyone else's perspective. They're just in their head about that they can do no wrong. They do not want to hear that actually they might have some toxicities, some distorted energy that needs to be healed. They don't want to hear that because they don't want to do the work. Okay? I feel like you specifically telling this person, I'm hearing narcissistic injury. Whatever you did to this person it's bruised their ego. Okay? And I don't feel like you went out of your way to be nasty or anything like that. I feel like you genuinely tried to help. You genuinely saw potential in this person to start with, and you may be a healer or somebody who knows how, like, about shadow work, and you genuinely put effort into this person because you were trying to, because you realize that whatever is triggered within you means that there's something there that is coming up for healing and it needs to be healing, and you were doing the work, you were doing the healing, and on some level I feel like you felt that was enough, that if you did the work that would be enough to either wake this person up and they'd suddenly put the effort in, or if you continued to put effort into this person or this situation, that would change the situation. But it didn't. It caused the person to effectively get even lazier and not do any form of shadow work, any form of looking in the mirror, because they were relying on you to do it. And it got to a point where you just told this person, enough's enough, I can't keep doing this anymore, it is draining me, I can feel my energy like draining now. Like, this situation was draining, and the only way, as hard as it was, you just knew deep down that the only way this person was going to go through any form of awakening, to do any of the shadow work, to ascend, was for you to step away, because ultimately you were being their crutch, and they became reliant and codependent on you. Okay, but they're telling everyone it's the other way round. But I think people are starting to see through this now, because if you're so codependent on this other person and you need them to do your shadow work. You need them to do your healing. Why are you the one that's walked away? I think this person told people that they were the one who walked away from you. And they may have done originally, because this is very... I don't like the term narcissistic because it does get thrown around a lot. But typically narcissists, true narcissists, believe that if they kind of throw you away, it will get you to chase them. And I feel like this is the energy here. This person thought if they discarded you, if they walked away from you, that you would be... I think this person actually convinced themselves that you were codependent on them. I don't think they genuinely... I still don't think they can see it. This person is utterly convinced that you are codependent on them. But even and people around them, I think people around them are actually trying to get through to them that if you were codependent on them, why are you the one that's not going back? Like, even if they were the one who walked away from you first, they kind of did you a favour. And I feel like you are somebody who, when you feel unwanted or the energy isn't reciprocated, you don't take it personally. You're just going to quietly take yourself off and focus on where the energy is more giving, like give and take. You're that kind of person, so you're not going to take it personally when someone walks away from you, and as a result of that, you haven't gone back. So from that point of view, this person may have initially walked away from you, but you haven't actually returned because you've seen how much more peaceful and how your life has improved by not having this person around. And this person is still trying to convince themselves that you need them, that you are codependent on them, and that you will return. And I'm just sitting here, like, in the mind of the collective, going, no, I'm not coming back. Oh, hell no. The grass is definitely greener over here. I'm watering my grass over here, and it is much more vibrant. It's much more abundant. Now I don't have you dragging me down and depleting my energy. I can focus on what it is that I want to do. I don't have to worry about trying to keep anyone else happy. And that doesn't mean that you don't care about this person. It's just that it's got to a point where I feel like you've got to a point where it's not that you don't care, because that's not who you are at all. But your feelings towards this person has done things to push you away, and it's got to the point where when it comes to them, obviously you wouldn't wish harm on them because that's not who you are, but you're kind of numb to anything they do now, because you're fully aware that anything that they do is good, isn't coming from a pure intention. So that's not working on you. And then they flip to the negative and they try to be mean to you. And then that's having no effect on you anymore, because basically you're seeing through them. You're seeing through the games that they're playing. And you're realising that even if you care about others, that doesn't mean they're going to care about you in the same way. And if this person is playing games with you and playing hot and cold and treating you mean to keep you keen, or buying you nice things or being nice to you to hold it over your head later, then that person doesn't truly care about you. So you're going over here, you're focusing on you and your self-care and leveling up, and as a result of that, you're attracting healthier relationships, okay, and people that genuinely do care about you, and people that are genuinely going to give you something and be nice to you for no other reason than to be nice. Okay, over here, your energy is reciprocated. Over here, I'm literally seeing two patches of grass. Okay, over here, the grass is vibrant. It's summertime grass all year round. It's evergreen, right? It's sunshiny. It's high vibing. It's amazing. Over here, it's dead, basically. It's so dried up where it hasn't been watered. Like when you water a lawn, if you do not water a lawn, the grass dries up, it loses its green colour, and it just dries out and it cracks. And that is what happened in this relationship or this situationship. The grass wasn't being watered by both sides, and it just it faded. It faded, and but while you were also, see, you were watering both bits of grass. You were watering yourself, but you were also watering this other patch of grass, this relationship with someone else, or this situationship. But the other person wasn't. So you effectively were over here trying to put, you know, time and energy into yourself, and also put time and energy into this situationship. But the relationship or the situationship that you were in wasn't also watering the grass. It wasn't 50-50. Okay? It wasn't 100-100. There was no balance, basically. Okay? You see my point? There was no balance. Because this person or this situationship was just like, well, as long as they're watering it, I don't need to worry. They'll pick up my slack. I'm just showing up. So this person was putting in 20%, and you were putting in 80%, and okay, that's balanced. On the days when someone can't completely put that effort in, because, you know, on the days when somebody is maybe not feeling quite themselves and they're literally just showing up, that's okay. We put the extra effort in. But when it's consistently 80-20, that's not balanced, because then what was happening was this patch of grass over here was then you were taking the water and not focusing on that and putting it all on that, so that didn't completely fade away. And then you kind of, so this is very symbolic of basically the relationship or the situationship we were in. You were losing yourself. This person or this situationship was slowly siphoning from you, slowly draining you. Like, you may have ended up severely dehydrated because for some of you, I feel that there was something to do with, like, dehydration here. Like, literally fading away because you weren't nourishing yourself. And it got to a point where you said to this person, or this, I do feel like this is a person, again, it doesn't have to be a relationship with someone romantically. It could just be a friendship or, you know, a family member. And you said to this person that if things didn't change, that basically you were going to walk away because things couldn't carry on. You may not have told them you were going to walk away. You may have just said to them, like, we can't keep going on like this. This isn't working. And this person's like, why? I'm not doing anything wrong. What's changed? And that's where this person is still at. Like, they cannot see what they were doing wrong or what they weren't doing, more to the point. And I feel like you just got to a point where you were just tired and drained and exhausted of putting all the time and effort. It feels like, you know, when, like, you meet up with someone and it's always where they want to meet up. They never meet up. It's always like you've got to go to them, okay? This is the kind of energy I'm picking on. It's like you always had to go to this person. And that doesn't mean that they didn't reach out to you to meet up, but it was more a case of they would reach out to you when their cup was dwindling and they needed a refill from you. And they'd reach out, but you would have to go to them. They wouldn't reach out to you and say, oh, all right, if I can pop round. It would be a case of, oh, do you want to meet up? And you'd be like, yeah, sure. And they'd be like, oh, meet me here. And it was consistently like that. And that is not balanced. That's not balanced, because you're the one then always chasing them. And that's what this person wanted. They wanted you to chase them because it made them feel significant in your life. But what they didn't see was that they were taking advantage of that and taking it for granted. And now they're going around telling people that they've walked away from you because you were draining on them. And or they're telling someone, okay, so there's two different things here, and it may be a little bit of both depending on who they're telling, but it could also be both depending on whether or not their story's now changed. So I feel like, to start with, they told people that they had to disconnect from you because you were draining and pulling on their energy and their resources. But now, so this is either and or all of this, okay? But the story now is that they've tried to sort things out with you and you're not listening to what they've got to say. But in reality, they've made no effort with you. They've not tried to sort things out because they're too embarrassed and ashamed to reach out to you, because they know you're going to see through them. Because they're trying to convince themselves that they can twist the story and brush things under the carpet with you. But they're trying to convince themselves, but at the same time, like, they're not convinced. But it does very much feel like other people are trying to get this person to understand where, like, they may have gone wrong. So other people are trying to show them a different perspective. And this person's like, well, I've done nothing wrong. I didn't do anything. But that's the point. For some of them, it's literally because they didn't do anything. They weren't there when you needed them. They didn't step up. And I can hear someone saying to them, you keep doing this. You keep doing this. When are you going to learn? Okay, and that could be their spirit team trying to get through to them. But it could also be somebody around them that knows this person and what they're like, and then saying to them, this isn't working anymore. Why are you not realising that this is why they've walked away from you and why they're not coming back? But it's almost like this person, so whoever it is getting really frustrated because this person's just not listening. They're like listening, like, yeah, maybe you're right. And then they're going away going, whatever, I've done nothing wrong. Or they're sitting there going, no, absolutely not. I can't have done anything wrong. I'm completely perfect. I'm completely innocent. I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing to deserve this. And these other people are kind of just like, just getting really frustrated because this person is not seeing the situation through anyone else's eyes, through anyone else. They're just like, nope, it's not like that. Nope, it's not like that. No, I didn't say that. No, I don't know where you've got that from. I never said that. So it could be as well that they've said something to these people about you or the situation, and now that it's not, the others are seeing through it, they're trying to gaslight other people in basically saying that no, these people, you're wrong. I didn't tell you that. I never said that. I don't know where you've got that from. This definitely does feel like narcissistic energy, because a true narcissist will not be able to see what they've done wrong and how they need to heal the unhealed parts of them and change their behaviours. Someone with narcissistic tendencies is going to look and go, do you know what? I need to take accountability for that. I don't like the way that is. I don't like being this way. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to be the best version of myself. Because on some level, we all have narcissistic tendencies because it is a belief system about our belief systems and the way we have been taught to spiritually bypass. you know, for some of us, a lot of us, you know, not for those that are more spiritual now with shadow work and are teaching the children and the new generations that are coming in how to do their shadow work. I'm talking about the older generations where we do things because we're told to do it. How many times, you know, have you heard someone say to you, ask someone, why do I need to do this? Because I told you so. So you just do it. We learn from people around us and the way they're behaving towards us. So we learn to behave in certain ways. And that is I hope that's coming across in the way I'm trying to get it across. That basically that is the difference between a narcissistic personality disorder and someone who's truly got narcissistic personality disorder, and that needs to be medically diagnosed, and someone who just has narcissistic tendencies. It's the willingness to change. Let's simplify it. It's the willingness to change, okay? It's the willingness to... Nobody likes to hold themselves accountable, but if you truly want to change and you truly want to be the best version of yourself, then you're going to hold yourself accountable, because you're not going to spiritually bypass, you're going to do your shadow work, okay? This person does not feel like they have a willingness to change. It's almost like they're completely blind and oblivious to their actions having consequences, and it feels like somebody other than you, I mean, you may have tried to do this as well, but it feels like somebody other than you as well is trying to get through to this person, and it's like they're hitting their head on a brick wall. It's like they're hitting their head on a brick wall. Let's get some clarifications. Thank you. Strength. You broke free. You had the strength to break free from this person or this situation. The strength, the courage, the resilience, and that's changed something within a person or a group of people. It could be that, like I said, you maybe told someone or tried to tell someone, and now basically you standing up to this person or this group of people has awakened some sort of courage and inspired somebody else within this group or this person's life to do the same. And they're now going through the same thing that you did with them, trying to tell them, trying to get through to them. And this person is just not listening, and they're starting to really understand what you went through with this person and why you walked away, because it's exhausting. Yeah, karma. This is right. So whoever is trying to wake this person up to what they've done, this is kind of their karma, because I feel like you told them what was going on, and they didn't... I wouldn't say they didn't believe you. They just didn't defend you, okay? They didn't... Like, it's not that they didn't believe you. They just were either in denial or they just didn't want to hear it, okay? They didn't want to admit that there were problems and things that needed changing within this person's... Like, that this person might actually be in the wrong, because then that means that work needs to be put in, and it's almost like, yeah, they just didn't want to get involved. Now, as a result of that and not taking action to defend you and doing what was right, they're now facing karma by having to deal with this person themselves and starting to understand what you were going through with this person. So they've had to go through this to open up a deeper level of empathy within themselves and compassion and understanding for what you went through. This person that you walked away from is also facing karma for you not coming back. That is their karma. That is their karma. Yeah, 8 of Cups. You walked away and you're not coming back. This person is hoping that they can reconcile with you and you can, you know, they can offer you something and you'll come back. But it's like what this person has to offer, it just isn't enough anymore. It's just not enough to keep you there. On the bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. Yeah, you've sparked something within someone with regards to this person or this situation, and they're now seeing what you saw. And I feel like they're now taking your place and trying to fix it and trying to wake this person up. You can lead a horse to water, you cannot make it drink. Okay? And you already know this, and I feel like somebody's going to get in touch with you and ask for your help to come back in and help you, this person see what they did wrong, because I feel like they think that if you come back in and you explain to this person why you've actually walked away, that's going to change things. It's not. It's not. This person, because you come back in, then this person's going to think that they've won. Okay, so somebody around this, I'm going to call them a narcissist for the ease of not confusing the two energies, because I'm picking up on two energies here. Somebody is going to get in touch with you about a narcissistic person that you were once in a situationship with. Okay, they're going to ask you to come back in and explain to this person why you've walked away, because they think if you explain the situation and you tell this person, because it's all well and good them telling them, but this person, sometimes we need it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, to take it at that, because other than that, people are just making, they're just saying, well, if they're not saying, if they have, they told you directly why, you know, why they walked away from me. Do you know that for a fact? No. Right, okay, then that might not be true then, wouldn't it? You know, and that's the energy that I'm getting, that this person is trying to get through to me, saying, yeah, but I'm seeing it from their perspective, and now I'm understanding why they walked away from you, and I'm trying to get you to see it. And they go, well, they haven't said that. No. Unless it comes from them. And it may be that this person, this narcissist, is saying, well, go and get them then. Go fetch them and get them to come and tell me why they've walked away from me. Because it's kind of like a plan to get back into your energy. So this narcissist is kind of using a third party energy to come to you. But there's somebody who is going to come to you and ask you to help with regards to this narcissist, and just explain why you've walked away from them, because they think that's going to help the narcissist. It's going to wake them up and they're going to see what they're doing wrong and it's going to fix them. It's not. This narcissist just wants back into your energy, and they'll do whatever they can to get back in that, because you go back into this and have conversation with this narcissist or this narcissistic person, this toxic, distorted energy, then all they're going to do is try and gaslight you into believing that your feelings and your reasonings for walking away are invalid, and they're going to try and humiliate you and make you feel silly for walking away from them, and then they're going to punish you. That's how it goes. Okay, I don't see you. I see this person reaching out to you and you saying, I've done enough. There is nothing else I can do to help them. I've done enough. Absolutely not. I'm not putting myself back into the line of fire. I'm really, really sorry. They're on their own. They're going to have to learn the hard way. I've tried for years. Nothing has got through to them. I tried to get through to them. They didn't listen to me. I'm done. And I can see you not going back. But you've definitely inspired and created some sort of fire within somebody to also stand up to this person and say, no, enough's enough. Okay, so you were the scapegoat, You've now left and somebody else is going to be becoming the scapegoat. And I feel like it's this person that's trying to see, like, get them to see what they're doing wrong. Like, it's just literally moved from one person to the other. There's not a lot that you can kind of do with that energy. Sometimes, as harsh as it is, you just have to walk away and leave them to their own devices. Because there are going to be some people that you come across in life that are just, it doesn't matter what you say to them, you can talk at them and tell them exactly how you're feeling, and they'll throw it back on you. They'll throw it back on you and say that you didn't take their feelings into consideration, which is far from the case. But they'll twist it and try to make you the villain, and yeah. So let's get some more information or advice on how to move forward with this situation, please, Spirit. But I definitely feel that somebody's going to be reaching out to you for help. It's up to you if you want to. That is completely up to you. I personally, from what I'm seeing in the cards, is that you won't. We have Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. Yeah, you're doing all right on your own. Your life is peaceful without this person. Why would you want them back in? Shift your perception. Somebody is definitely trying to get this person to change their perspective when it comes to you, okay? Shaman, trust in higher forces. Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. Stand firm in your boundaries, okay? Because somebody is going to come in. Fire Guardian, ignite your passions. Somebody could even come in and try and manipulate you into saying that you owe somebody an explanation for walking away. You absolutely don't. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. And I feel like you've already explained yourself and they just chose not to listen. So that sounds like a them problem. Let's get some affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements about how you want to be, how you want to believe, what you want to believe is true. And used regularly, they can help to maintain a positive mindset. Someone definitely is trying to convince somebody to see something from a different perspective, and they're refusing. And I feel like this is somebody that's watched for years this person's behaviour and lack of action, because lack of action is still an action. You're choosing not to do something, so you're still taking some sort of action. And I feel like they've maybe had conversations with them in the past, but they haven't like forced the issue, because there's been other people around to deal with this person, so they've kind of let it go. But now, and I feel like you were the other person around to deal with them, but now you've gone and there's no one to kind of deal with this person. They feel like they've had to take this person on now, and that is part of their karma, to deal with this person. Okay, so let's get some affirmations and we'll close out this reading. I surrender to a power greater than me. Yeah, you've already surrendered this situation over to the divine. You're done with this situation. You're good where you are. You don't need to go back in. You've got no unfinished business. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. Absolutely, you changed your perspective. You saw this person and this situation differently. You saw it from a higher perspective, and you knew that ultimately the only way you were actually going to be any help, the only way you could help this situation and to end this cycle, this what felt like a never-ending cycle, was to walk away. You knew what had to be done. I do feel like there was a different path, but this person chose to go down didn't choose to go down that path. Okay. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. Absolutely. You've surrendered the outcome. You've moved on. You're at peace. You've got no unfinished business with any of these people, any of this situation. And in walking away, that's why now this situation is now coming up, because these people, it's allowed the universe to balance out the karma, okay, and the justice, and yeah, on the bottom of the deck we have, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Absolutely, you're just trusting and having faith in the universe. You're not even worrying about what these people are doing. Like, it's purely coming up because these people are trying to pull on your energy to get you, to pull you back in. Somebody is going to be reaching out to you with some sort of communication, asking for your help, okay, asking you to come in and fix this person or this situation. It could be that they want to just brush things under the carpet, and they think if you come back in, that maybe, you know, that'll make everything okay, but you're not coming back. I genuinely don't feel you are. You may decide that you want to. That's completely up to you. You have free will. That's your choice. But to me, this energy just feels like I'm done. I'm exhausted. This energy, I'm not going back to the past. This energy's done. I'm done. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And that's not you being selfish and being childish. That's not you throwing your toys out of the pram and trying to control the situation. That's you just genuinely going, I don't want to know. I'm done. You weren't there when I needed help. It's not going to bring me any peace by going back into this situation. In fact, the thought of going back into this situation, I'm feeling some anxiety rise up in me. There's a thought of going back to this person or this situation brings up anxiety. That's a sign that that's not in alignment with your highest path. If you're surrounded by people that are creating anxiety within you and not bringing you peace, then that is a sign from the universe. That's a red flag from the universe. Big neon flashing lights, listen to us. You need to move away from this person. This is somebody you need to move away from, because the people that are healthy for you are not going to create this stress and anxiety in your body, because that is not normal in a relationship. Okay. I just heard the word discernment. Yeah, use your discernment. Tap into that. You have the knowledge. You have the power within you. Tap into your discernment. Okay. Make sure you're staying grounded so that when this person does come in, you'll know. Although, to be fair, I feel that you're going to know when this person shows up anyway. So for some of you, they could literally knock on the door, okay? But for others of you, they're going to reach out via text message or social media, okay? I'm going to leave it there. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Namaste.